Hey all, Hipper here. So today we're looking at Martel with a ghost build, and it's a very good ship for this build because I use Le Monnier, and his base trait basically gives you 2/3 of the ghost build for free. So I pop Mikawa on there, as I do here, for better concealment, and then Lightful as well to make you go dark faster. Then I have Beyond Range, Igniter, and Go All Out. So at will, you can decrease your detectability by another 20%. Gives you lots of interesting plays. Then I have Fixated, and this is a damage-focused build, so I have Refill Station as a legendary perk. So instead of having double rudder on this ship here, I have the first rudder slot, and then I have the concealment mod. And you can go with the propulsion mod in the first rudder slot here if you want to. I don't. Anyway, like you see, 11 kilometer detectability can be decreased by another 20%, and then I had just about 18 kilometer range on my artillery, and that gives me 7 kilometers, about that, room to play with my Go Dark ability, which is with this build here an astounding 12 seconds. So it gives you a lot of room to play and really make this build here work the best it possibly can. And like I said, Siegfried ghost build works really well for that ship, and for Martel I also think a ghost build it's probably not the best build. I still think an agile build is slightly better, but after that I think a ghost build is probably the way to go with this ship here, because it gives you so many things for free basically. Like you get Le Monnier's base trait for free, and you get the ability to go 20% even lower on your detectability for free as well. So you just have to put Lightful on as an inspiration, and then you pretty much have an extra inspiration to use for whatever you want. And I put Mikawa on here to get an even lower concealment, but you don't really have to. You could put either a boost to HE or range. Range would be a good thing actually, or better AP, or whatever you like really, because you have a whole extra inspiration because Le Monnier provides you with the base trait for your ghost build. So it probably makes Martel the best cruiser to put this build on, apart from any Russian cruiser of course, where you can use Lightful in the same way, and then you get his base trait for free. So what we have here is a heavy cruiser. Note that, a heavy cruiser with a 18 kilometer range, actually even more than that if you spec into range, and I have less than 8-second reload on this build here. It can also be even lower if you spec into that. So don't underestimate the damage output of Martel. I mean, the HE is nasty, and the AP in particular is very, very hard hitting, especially on other cruisers. I still think Hipper hits harder on battleships, but Martel, that is a cruiser killer. If you show broadside to a Martel, you are in trouble if you are in another cruiser, that is, because the AP smacks, and the ballistics are also amazing. I don't think they're quite as good as Hipper's, but they're very, very close. Especially the dispersion, I think Hipper just does better. I don't know why. And as you know, I'm not very into the whole Russian railgun thing. I don't think the Russian guns are better than the German guns, like Hipper in particular. I actually much prefer the Hipper ballistics or the Martel ballistics over any Russian cruiser. So obviously I'm pretty lucky here. The destroyer put down smoke for me, so I get in some easy early damage here. But even if I had no smoke, this build here is all about abusing your concealment, because it's so good. Like you saw, it's 10.9, and if I want to, I've already used it, I could just pop my speed boost and it would go down another 20%, which would make it less than 10 kilometers. Which is very good if you are entering a cap and you get spotted, and it's a bad moment. You just hit your speed boost, and that'll give you a little bit of time to turn around, or get out of a bad spot. It's sort of like Amalfi's rolling smoke, just except for the fact that you can still spot things. You're not covered by smoke, so it's actually better. So I usually play Martel with a 14 kilometer range, I think 14.5 maybe, something like that. So I'm completely not used to being able to hit battleships when they're 17, 18 kilometers away. That's just not something I'm used to at all. But of course that's what you have to do with this build here, because you're lacking the agility to really be effective up close, at least against battleships. You can take on cruisers and of course destroyers, but this early in the game, heading in is probably not a good idea. I would do it in an agile build, absolutely, no problem. But I'm quite lucky in this game here that actually my team are quite adept at capping and positioning, so everything's actually working out quite well. And that's probably one of my main criticisms of this build here, is that if things don't go as you plan, or you happen to spawn in a spot where you are pretty much required to push in, and you can't really use your ghost ability, well, then it's a bit of a one-trick pony. But when you get to use it, like in this case here, it is amazing, because this Iowa here is, you know, he's trying to get me, and I can go dark anytime I want if I get in trouble here. Because he is nearly 20 kilometers away, and the Myoko is also outside my concealment area. And here I switch to AP, and that's what I mean by the AP on this ship here is just, horribly nasty. You don't want to get hit by that. Because I wanted to remove that Myoko there, because I don't want to be in a crossfire here. So I pushed this Iowa out of the cap now from 17 kilometers away, and I allow myself to go dark now. I'm not firing, because he will soon be outside of my range. So I want him to feel safe and then start moving forward again, so I can, set a few more fires. He goes dark now, and see, that was a lot later than I did, because obviously he doesn't have a ghost build. And I'm also a little bit worried about this turrets here approaching from the other angle. So that's why, one of the reasons I went dark there. Because in case he came around the corner, I didn't want the Iowa to be able to citadel me from across the map. And that Iowa is so far away that he's not a threat right now, especially because I'm unspotted. But I'm going to take on this turrets here, but the destroyer is actually way ahead of me on that, and pretty much takes him out without me actually needing to do anything. So that's perfect. I can turn around and start to take my attention towards the sea cap. You can see that Iowa hasn't given up yet, and then now he is heading in towards the cap again, and that's pretty much just what I've been waiting for. Now keep in mind, I don't have the acceleration module on this ship here, so if you put that on, you'll be able to change direction, at least move from your stopped direction to whatever, forward or backwards, much faster than I do, because I have the rudder shift. But at this distance here, 19 kilometers, it doesn't matter at all. And that's what I keep saying, like, yes, Iowa is a sniper battleship, but at that range, it's extremely unlikely that you're going to hit anything. And you're not going to hit any cruiser player who knows what they're doing. That's for certain, and especially not an agile cruiser. So that's why battleships with a range of more than 17 kilometers, I don't really see the point, to be honest. The inaccuracy is just so bad that, what's the point really? And at that distance, a cruiser is way more accurate than a battleship. So if you're in a one-on-one with pretty much any cruiser, the cruiser is going to out-DPM the battleship. And the cruiser is faster, so it decides the engagement range. So the battleship is at a distinct disadvantage at more than 17 kilometers. So yeah, I don't get it, but some people swear by sniping battleships, and they sit like 20 kilometers from the cap, and they reverse right when the battle starts, and they let their team get killed, and then in the end they get focused by everyone, and then they rush in, and then they die. And sure, if you think that's fun, that's your prerogative. I don't think that's a lot of fun. Another criticism of Ghost builds, and of course that goes for all Ghost builds or pretty much any build that's not an agile build, it just gets a little boring, I think, because especially this battle is a good example of a battle where I don't really have to push in. My team's doing a pretty good job, and I don't have to like pull off a Hail Mary or anything like that, except for the last part of the battle here. But like we are down to 2 versus 4 now, but all the reds are concentrated on the right side of the map, except for perhaps a destroyer somewhere around here. So it's not really a big problem. I'm fairly confident we're going to win this battle here, especially now they're down to 3. So I'm just going to make sure we win by going over here and capping C. Because yeah, the enemies are trying to cap A, so should they have luck with that, at least we have the C cap taken. And then it'll be easy to defend the B cap simply by hitting the ships trying to take it and resetting them. That's the plan anyway. And actually that's something that this build is good at. Just sitting somewhere, you go dark, and then when someone tries to cap, you pop up, you reset them, and then you go dark 12 seconds later, and just repeat until you get bored to death, which happens, I guess. It's just because I'm so used to playing agile cruisers that I feel like I'm playing a battleship now. I cannot get used to this slow rudder here, and although like the build isn't bad at all, it's just not a build that fits my personality. And obviously it fits other people's personality perfectly, but not me. And that doesn't make it a bad build at all. It doesn't make any build a bad build. It just means that it doesn't fit your playstyle, basically. Now, I'm a bit annoyed I didn't get to finish off that Iowa from before, because every time I get spotted, I worry about incoming Iowa salvos, and obviously Martel does not like those. And the problem is I don't have Ingenious on this build here. So although I'm spotted, I don't really know if the Iowa is targeting me or not, which is, yeah, a bit of an uncomfortable situation, because also I don't know where he is because he's not spotted. So he could potentially sit somewhere and just wait for me to show broadside, because I only have a rough idea where he is, and then like 9 incoming AP shells and you're done for in Martel. So yeah, I much prefer to have Ingenious on Martel especially, but pretty much any tier 7 cruiser. I know people say like, why do you want to know how many people target you? Well, that's not what Ingenious does. That's what it shows, but that's not what it does. Anyway, I could go on and on about the wonders of Ingenious, but instead we have unmasked this ZF6 here, and that's why I was kind of lurking around trying to not get spotted, so I would be able to head into the cap in case something like this happened. And of course it was going to happen because there's 2 destroyers left. So just like in the true style of Spartan Elite 43, we don't get to finish off this destroyer here. He survives with a sliver of health, and yeah. So yeah, Spartan, you're not the only one. But I'm just going to head into the cap so I can stop him from actually capping it, because I don't want him to get any points or anything. And there's no way he's going to rush me, because he only needs to take 1 shell and then he's out of the game. And I doubt that he is that brave, because I know he could just come around the corner here and torp me, but by the time he gets his torps off, I'm pretty sure he's spotted and I'll be able to sink him before that. So that's why I'm doing this. I'm staying in the cap, but now the Iowa is out, and I'm taking a chance here just firing at him, because I'm hoping that he's not really ready for me, and he isn't. Like, he gets off a few salvos, but they're not exactly perfectly aligned. I do take damage, but it's more important to reset that guy there. So it's 1 versus 3 now, and I am pretty sure this German destroyer is going to come around this corner now and try to ambush me, because he's obviously left the cap, and that really only leaves one way to go, unless he's running away, and that's fine for me, because then I'm going to win. I'm winning on points, and as long as I stay out of the range of the Iowa, I should be fine. And there he is, and like I said, he only needs 1 shell. And there's a bit of a delay there. I hate when that happens, when you click the fire button and nothing happens, because the turret is just on the edge of where he can fire, and it's really annoying. But anyway, I got him, and he got off some torpedoes, but not enough to take me out. So the Iowa is spotted, but like I said, my concealment is so low that there's no way he can see me. Even if I had an agile build, I don't think I would be visible to him right now. So I'm just going to, when it's a little bit safer, I'm going to send 1 shell his way. Of course it doesn't matter now because he already capped, but I would like to have reached 20 defense in this game here, but not gonna happen. So just before I go dark behind the island here, I just send a shell his way. And that's pretty much the end of the battle here. So you can see this was Martel, like a ghost Martel, where you actually made good use of the build, and it works really well on this ship here, I must say. Like I say, I still prefer an agile build by far, by a lot. But that's just me, that's just my personality, and some people I'm sure will love this build here, because you have all the tools to really abuse your concealment. You go dark very quickly, you have super low concealment, and you have the ability to cut another 20% of your concealment if things go pear-shaped. So definitely a great build, also nearly 3700 XP there. So I hope you enjoyed this battle here, and I'll see you out there.